Spags, it is time to draft. We thought we would get a bit of reprieve here, but no. Big draft complex is staring down us right now.
Our big pals, our reasonably sized pals over at Underdog Fantasy already putting out a big board. So, as a fantasy football podcast for every game under the sun, we are going to be there doing best ball drafts starting today for next season. We're also going to dig a little bit into the pre-Super Bowl news out there, just a few items. Coaching carousel, there has been a Vikings hire that some people will be very excited about, hopefully. And let's just hit the intro, Pete, and get right into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Splash Play, the fantasy football podcast for every game under the sun. And once again, I am Chris Spags, joined by your friend and mine, Pete Overzet. Pete, you already did a best ball draft, so your cherry's been popped by one handsome Pat Corain. But how are you feeling about today's draft?
Wow. Well, when you put it that way, I'm not feeling so great anymore. No, it was fun to do it last night. You feel completely rusty. I was joking about how, last August, I would be staring at all these running backs in rounds 10 through 14, 15, and I could find ways to get excited about a bunch of these guys' paths to success. Last night, you're sitting here looking at the, late round running backs and they still have like the stench of the 2020 season on them. We're just not excited about them. So yes, I was flying blind. Definitely some surprise ADPs. Still feels weird to see guys like Deebo Samuel in the second round. A lot of these guys that had monster seasons who have moved up in big ways. And then that doesn't even, account for trying to navigate this rookie class. We were talking last night about Treylon Burks, who basically looks like an AJ Brown clone. But now his ADP already is getting incredibly frothy. So yeah, having fun diving into it, and excited to do a draft with you today as well.
Yeah, we'll be doing these pretty much weekly moving forward, as long as there are ones on Underdog. So make sure you go use the promo code SPLASH over on Underdog to get a $100 deposit match for your first deposit. And we're excited to be partnering with them in this draft season, or I guess really all season is draft season now, which is kind of fun for us. And also make sure you go to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Of course, the DVOA date is going to be a big thing. Our 99 cents a week promo actually does go away on the 13th. So make sure you get in there now. The price will be up, and it's just a good deal. Get 52 weeks there for 99 cents a week. So go check that out. Our NFL draft coverage also beginning with Mike Tanier down to the Senior Bowl. Our poor marketing coordinator, Matt, or marketing manager, I shouldn't short sell him on his title, getting video there in the rain. It has been a nightmare to navigate, but they're doing the best they can. Lots of fun video on the Football Outsiders handle too, but check it out because we are doing the best we can to bring the real life analysis that Football Outsiders does to fantasy. And I think it'll be exciting and give us some lanes to talk about. And tomorrow, quick promo for tomorrow's show. We're getting Cody Main from ETR on, who is a showdown expert, a guy doing really sharp things there. He was jonesing for the Pro Bowl, Pete. So you saw that on Twitter and you immediately were like, we got to get Cody on the show because he's the only guy who cares about the Pro Bowl on Twitter right now.
I know. I was even asking Justin if Run the Sims were going to be spinning up any Sims for the Super Bowl. He said no. So Cody is our final hope here. So I do know he has a showdown breakdown article already up on ETR, and excited to kind of pick his brain. I guess I made a mistake too, because I wasn't really thinking through this. For some reason, I just assumed Run the Sims was going to have Sims and I could just like spit out a bunch of lineups. So I registered for like the 150 mini max and all the 20 maxes. And now I'm like, shit, I'm actually going to have to figure this out. So yes, I'm going to need Cody's help tomorrow for sure.
Ambitious move by you, but that's what we're all about here. Maybe I'll join you in that one in solidarity, even though NBA DFS yesterday took my soul. I had to do more updates for that slate than I've ever had to do, and somehow ended up profitable despite playing more Isaiah Jackson in the field. That's neither here nor there, but what it was a fucking night and a half. But either way, we appreciate you guys being here. And let's get into the news real fast. Super Bowl news, and we're going to burn through this quickly because the Underdog drafts for 2020 big board are going to be pretty lengthy. But Super Bowl news overall, Pete, anything interesting you're seeing? Because one thing that struck a chord with me, Cooper Kupp tweeting about Robert Woods, also calling him Bobby Trees, the fantasy name. So that's fun. They actually use that nickname. Fantastic nickname. But I feel like the Robert Woods narrative, media hasn't run with it yet, but the winning one for Bobby kind of feels like it has some legs.
Yeah, I saw Levitan tweet this the other day. Cooper Cup calls Robert Woods Bobby Trees, and I always just thought that was like a DFS fantasy nickname. So I absolutely loved getting confirmation of that. I actually haven't seen a ton of this storyline, but these teams need to do whatever they can, to get up for the Super Bowl. And I guess a heartwarming, tear jerking, emotional win for Bobby Trees. If that's what does it for you, by all means, Rams, knock yourself out.
And then Tom Brady's retirement officially official. And I feel like we probably don't have much to add onto this story, Pete. The greatest quarterback we'll probably see in our lifetime. Certainly one that, relative to our ages, I know has grown. We've grown up alongside Tom Brady. I've talked on this show before about winning my first Super Bowl pool in high school and getting the playoffs entirely right that one year, except that last game where the Rams did not beat the Patriots. Tom Brady took that win. And that's one where he has been a part of really my entire adult life. And I certainly am not a Patriots fan, but I feel like you can do nothing but just respect this guy and feel good about the fact that he has achieved more than really humanity could possibly achieve as a quarterback. But Pete, you always ask me about Philly things. You got the boots on the ground in New England. You didn't thank them hard enough, I'm hearing.
No, yeah, we didn't. Lauren sent me a text message. She was very upset that Tom didn't thank them more in his, Instagram post. I was kind of surprised because I could see Tom Brady going either way with this. Like the fact that he kind of did this a little quietly, he didn't make a big deal out of it. He didn't do the victory lap. He could have done the Kobe Bryant every game this season, every, stadium kind of being like, oh, it's Tom Brady's last time here. He could have made a meal out of it. So I was kind of impressed that he was willing to kind of go more or less quietly into the night and to go out, relatively on top. I think it's pretty impressive. They could have been in it more this year. I think they probably would have made the Super Bowl if AB didn't lose his marbles and Chris Godwin stayed healthy. Like I don't think the NFC was super intimidating on that front. But yeah, it's crazy. I saw someone talking about just how much or how little Tom Brady had accomplished by age 30. And so much of his, production and accolades all came after that, which is so different from kind of the NFL now, where we expect these quarterbacks to be producing and be winning so early in their career. So he's definitely an anomaly. And it'll be a bummer not to have him around. He was always fun to watch.
He and LeBron committing to their bodies as well, treating them like the pieces of machinery they are to get the most out of their mileage. And Tom Brady grossing more than any other NFL player ever has. I think really, again, nothing more you could say here other than, I guess, just if you're a New England fan, just really hating him after all he hasn't done for your team over the years. Coaching carousel real fast. The Vikings, after a 9-hour meeting with Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, no offer ended up being made. Jim Harbaugh then goes back to Michigan to extort them for probably a contract extension. They instead will hire the Rams offensive coordinator / former NFL QB as a backup, Kevin O'Connell. I think the Sean McVay coaching tree, I know you don't care about coaching, Pete, so we're going to burn this real fast. It's really one of the more impressive coaching trees. Guys like LaFleur out there, Zach Taylor, they've all been part of McVay. I feel like if you're a Vikings fan, and hopefully our pal Arif Hassan is happy with this one because I've not actually dug into his feed to see how he's feeling. But I think this is a great one for that Vikings offense that we know can be blow away overpowered.
Yeah, I mean, how many successful actual like college coaches coming into the NFL have we seen? I mean, all I have in my head are the Chip Kellys, the Urban Meyers. I mean, it's like an entirely different skill set, even kind of managing college athletes versus pro athletes. It just never seems to translate that well. So I mean, yeah, sure, Harbaugh has a name brand, coach recognition, but I'm never convinced that those guys are great for the NFL level.
Yeah, in the NFL, obviously Harbaugh also had some success at the NFL coaching level too, but it is a changing league, and he certainly did go down to DFS Texas. Only tunes in for Pete's head coaching takes, and that's what we're here for. And here's the uncomfortable one, Pete, that we have to talk about briefly. Brian Flores suing the NFL while still being live for the Saints and Texans jobs. And I know on this show we do err on the very liberal side, but I think certainly the plight of the black man in the NFL coaching thing, not something Pete and I are very familiar with, but I think as a third party observer, certainly you want to see these guys get a fair chance. The Belichick texts are pretty damning, it seems, with him thinking that the job was locked down by the wrong Brian, if you haven't seen the full scoop there. But overall, Brian Flores, I think we've talked on this show, like maybe he didn't get the most out of Tua, but he got the most out of that Dolphins team that deserved, I guess, really, he deserved a better outlay for just what he got out of them. And now it's just kind of an uncomfortable thing where I think the NFL maybe pushes one of these teams to hire him just to maybe strengthen their case. But then I was talking to one of my lawyer friends, and he was like, actually, that could weaken their case because it proves that he is actually a very viable head coach, a guy who deserves these kind of jobs, and instead has been shunted a couple times and had his bad exit. I don't know how much you want to say here, Pete, because again, it's hard for us to talk about this in this perspective, but it just seems just the fairness and a guy who did a great job. I just think it's a shitty situation that it had to come down to this.
Yeah, there's so many layers to this story. Even honestly, the stuff with the Belichick text messages, it was funny because it's just like Bill Belichick being an idiot and a boomer and not realizing who he's talking to. But like, I almost segment this story into a couple parts. Like, the Rooney Rule stuff has its own flaws, and like, they should definitely be called out for these sham interviews. Obviously, the Broncos implicated in this as well, but like, those are also the rules. Like, these these organizations are required to interview, these coaches of color as part of the process. So like, sham interviews are going to happen because of this setup. And I don't have a perfect, elegant solution for it, but I almost view that as its own thing. I mean, the stuff that's, I think, more damning to me is like the tampering stuff. Stephen Ross, the owner, asking Brian Flores to tamper. There's major fines for tampering for even coaches himself. And Stephen Ross might get fined for all this. And what's a $1 million fine to a billionaire? Literally nothing. It'd be like you and me getting a $50 fine. It just like doesn't even phase us. But for Brian Flores, like, that fine could have been significant, what it would do to his reputation as a coach. So I think that's a big issue. And then also the tanking stuff. There was he alleges that he was getting bribed $100,000 a game to lose. And when you really start to pull apart the implications of that, you can see that like, he was set up as a fall guy for the Dolphins all along, and that he might not have been their coach of the future. And I might be reading in between the lines too much, but it's like, yeah, here, we're going to pay you. You be the guy that comes in here and loses and tanks. And then we're going to fire you and get the new coach, the one we really want, or whatever it is, when we're ready to usher in this new era. So that stuff, when you really start peeling back what some of this stuff could mean, I think is pretty damning. The question is, are they going to have enough evidence to be able to really do something about this? Because a lot of it is kind of he said, she said stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a big settlement coming his way, and there are also some Stephen Ross investments into gambling companies in the same time frame that he was encouraging Flores to tank, which is not a great look. And we support betting on this show. Legal betting is a fantastic thing for the country as long as you guys are handling it responsibly, which we try to impart here as best we can. But overall, there's a lot of things here. It's going to be an interesting story to keep it going, and really, more than anything, I feel like you got to kind of salute Brian Flores for his courage and/or finessing. If he just gets a great settlement out of this and then doesn't take another NFL job, hey, more power to him. He was a great coach, and if he's that disenfranchised, that disenchanted with the system, then get your payday and do the Colin Kaepernick route and make a difference. And he might be the sacrificial Kurt Flood for any historical MLB free agency fans out there. But Pete, time to get into this draft, because we got to make good time on this one. And it is draft season. You did your first draft on ship chasing. And also, I don't know if yesterday was a Corain and Gretsch show, so I might have sold Gretsch short by him not also popping your cherry.
Yeah, I got my cherry pop by both of them. It was a tag team
same
cherry
time.
popping.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
That's a tough one. Old Dave Portnoy, Pete.
No comment.
No comment for me either, honestly. That was should have said that. Funnily enough, too, I got to get this all out of my system because I'm actually doing Cheddar today, the Cheddar Network. They have a betting show, and that's like a professional thing to build my media reel. And I gotta I gotta put on a Henley and like do.
Wait, your version of getting dressed up is putting on a Henley?
Yes, I'm not putting on a button down. That's not my brand.
I've never heard of Cheddar.
Cheddar's it was a financial network, and now they have like a betting deal like everybody does, but they do a little bit of everything. And I'm doing a segment there where they're sponsored by BetMGM. So by proxy, Pete, I've technically gotten our first sportsbook sponsorship.
Wow. There you go. Pump the show while you're on there.
Oh, I will. I'll be like, hey, go check out. I'm going to leave the thumbnail up of just us and my wry face looking at a prospect.
All right, so are we hopping in this draft?
Yep, let's do it. So, of course, going over to Underdog, the 2022 Big Board is the tournament on there. You can draft rookies, you can draft your stacks, and I guess I'll ask you, Pete, to kind of set the table here. Some interesting stats came out this week from Sam Hoppen that I forgot to put in our show sheet about the fragile running back build. I think was looking a little better. The zero RB did not work out so well this year. Has that adjusted anything you're thinking about these drafts?
No, I mean, no offense to Sam. I love Sam. I think he does really good work, but that kind of data, I don't think actually encompasses the entire scope of structural drafting. That was showing specifically for the top, I believe it was 7 picks and running backs in that. I prefer the data that shows the overall construction of the lineup. So one of the things, like, he categorized robust RB as 3 running backs in the first 7 rounds. Michael Leone showed on Establish the Run that just drafting 3 running backs, hyper fragile, and then not drafting any more was a dominant strategy. But when you say robust RB with no other context for what happens after round 7, each additional running back you add after that actually lowers your win rate. So to me, it's more about the overall construction. And I think the more interesting conversations now is, how do these 20-round drafts impact the optimal structural strategy versus the 18-round drafts that we had last year? And Underdog and Josh Norris have confirmed all of these tournament drafts this year are going to be 20-round drafts with the extra 2 rounds tacked on.
So all year long, they're going to be 20 rounds?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yep. So I think, there's different stuff there. I do think the, 3 QBs, 3 tight ends that you're probably going to see be more optimal. I think 0 RB stuff is going to be a little bit more optimal, having a couple more late darts to throw. I think, taking more stabs on these young players that have the potential to break out, these low key rookies right now. I think those are the kind of the things I'm thinking about with these extra roster spots.
And then overall, I think this is a really tough question to ask. And, I have previously advocated for drafting when you have more information, but, right now we're all pretty much on even footing. Things like free agency, things like coaching and QB changes, how does that affect what you're doing? Are you just drafting sort of based on the historical fantasy production?
Yeah, I really like doing the draft last night. I was learning on the fly. I don't think I have a clear thesis on stuff right now. I mean, it was a ship chasing draft we were doing last night, so wide receivers were flying off the board faster than they might otherwise. One other trend that I noticed, and a lot of the guys who had actually been doing some other drafts, it was actually Willis who made a joke in the chat. Apparently, quarterbacks are going much faster in these drafts than they were in like Best Ball Mania and even the puppy drafts over the summer. So being a little bit more aggressive on completing our stacks, I think would be an early lesson for me. Just one thing that I had noticed. And then, yeah, I also just seeing some weird stuff. I don't know if guys are auto drafting or what, but some really weird constructions, 8 running backs, 4 QBs. We are on the clock here at the turn. Curious, any of your thoughts here?
I would go Dalvin. I know we just talked about the running back thing, but I think he's going to be in a really good spot with O'Connell as the head coach. I think that's going to get the most out of him. And we've seen Sean McVay's prodigies love to lean on the run, and I think Dalvin Cook will be the beneficiary.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for Dalvin. I do think I would want either a Kelsey or a pass catcher here. Do you have a favorite of either of these guys?
I would go Debo. I think I don't like where he's being drafted. Like, this is a really high ADP for Debo, but like, if we're going to assume that Trey Lance is going to make that tide rise a little more, and then Debo can not be a running back quite as much, or if he is just for really effective kind of gimmickry plays, like, I think that means Debo could somehow be undervalued, even though he is like, it is sticker shock to see him this high ADP wise.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like, we do have the sticker shock, but it's not like Darrell Henderson being drafted in the 12th round of BBM, and then he's going in the 4th round and you're competing against teams who drafted him in the 12th. Like, we're all starting on a level playing field here, so it's not like we have to be worried about that. And yeah, I'm inclined to think that Debo's a pretty solid pick here. Like, I don't get worried about him quite as much. I feel like he's kind of immune to, I don't know whether different coaching or not coaching changes, but QB changes. If we do get, Lance starting, offensive shifts, I just feel like he's such a focal point of their offense that he feels like a pretty comfortable pick to me still.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think we can get that Niners stack now pretty easily, where Kittle, I presume, is going to be going a little bit lower. I'm sure the playoff performance of him being in line to block a lot didn't encourage people, but that Niners team next year could be a very wide open offense if Trey Lance does evolve the way that a lot of these young QBs would do. And I would also say, Pete, I know we talked about a little bit about Super Bowl betting. The Bengals going into this year were right there odds wise with the Jets in terms of teams, or win the Super Bowl. I think the Niners now, like accounting for the Trey Lance jump, as well as just what, Shanahan can do with a full offseason with him and not having to worry about Jimmy G. I think the Niners, we touted as a Super Bowl team this year. Next year could actually be the year.
Yeah, I mean, I was joking last night that I'm definitely ready to martingale Trey Lance and go right back to him in this spot. We ended up not getting Debo last night. We got George Kittle, and then Brandon Ayuk was pretty cheap. I think we got Ayuk in like the 7th round. Obviously, he was going, early 5th round, late 4th even in Best Ball Mania last year. So a little bit of a discount there. But one thing, we got snaked on Trey Lance. We thought we could potentially wait. And I want to say he went in the 10th or 11th round before we could take him. So no discount right out of the gate on Trey Lance. And then, yeah, George Kittle was going early to mid 3rd. I doubt he makes it back to us here.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch the show, and I don't know if it's better that I didn't watch Ship Chasing or not before the show, because GA pointing out that this is attempt number 2 for you to build that Lance stack. And I guess you're just predisposed to the Niners and Trey Lance.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing that makes it hard is like obviously the only indictment of Trey Lance is the team didn't think he was ready this year, or they still thought that Jimmy Garoppolo gave them the best chance to make a run, which might have been true. But I still feel like we haven't seen enough of Trey Lance to really know one way or another what he has to offer. So yeah, I'm willing to get burned again. I think I just have to be careful if everyone feels the same way and his price stays incredibly rich, then that might make it difficult.
And also, for what it's worth, I am guiding us on this Niners one because you gave me the choice and I did go Debo's way. So inadvertently, I'm putting you into the exact same situation that you were in yesterday, except you got Debo this time. So that's probably me being the good luck charm that I am.
Yeah, and it is interesting. In our draft last night, Mark Andrews went in the, I believe, late 2nd. Here he's going early 3rd. We were talking last night, like, some concerns with a lot of Mark Andrews' production came with the backup QBs. They weren't pushing the ball down the field as much. Lamar not being healthy. So Mark Andrews' ADP feels a little frothy to me. Pat's take was just like take the cheapest of kind of the Waller, Pitts, Kittle tier, just because after those first 5, there's a massive gap. But we might be able to get Kittle.
Right? Yeah.
And if not, too, like I would be fine coming away with Pitts here as well. Like I think Pitts is an awesome pick at the 3-4 turn.
I like how this is developing. Yeah, Kittle, I'm in.
Yeah, definitely down to get Tittle. I'm titillated.
Yeah, we're all titillated.
Who else do you want to consider here?
Do we go full Niners and take Elijah too and just really capture that production?
Well, the one thing about that,
we get Mostert back next year too, which could be a little bit.
Yeah, that feels a little rich for me with Eli Mitchell. I think I prefer to get another wide receiver at this spot.
Okay. We don't know who's going to be in Pittsburgh, which I guess it doesn't matter because we're going for the land. We should go somewhere where we know who the QB is going to be. We don't know Tampa Bay either.
I'm also willing to. I mean, it's a gamble, but I mean, Calvin Ridley, basically anywhere if he comes back, is going to be a smash at 312.
Okay. I'm
also down for Mike Evans.
Commander McLaurin?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll do McLaurin.
Yeah. All right. Terry, the new uniform is going to make him look even faster.
Yeah.
I don't know who we'd stack him up with at QB if we don't get Lance, but Spags trying to take an RB and Pete shuts it down. It's Tails all the time. We are taking young running backs though this time, right? Or younger, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just, in general too, with like these underdog drafts and how wide receiver, how you can get shut out so quickly, and having the anchor running back with Dalvin Cook, I'd rather grab a guy like Terry, who I think is just a pretty safe pick at this price.
I'm also, for the record, and DFS Texas again saying got to be Ridley. I know you just mentioned him too. The concern for me is that he was unhappy because of being in Atlanta, and that would scare me if you're trying to build a Falcon stack then and you end up with like Matt Ryan and it just doesn't fully relate. Might not matter as much for this kind of draft this early on, but to me, I don't have the confidence that Ridley comes back and comes back to the same team in particular.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different range of outcomes with Ridley. I'm less concerned about worrying about the stack stuff. Like Matt Ryan's ADP, he's not necessarily like a guy you're going to go out of your way to draft. I think we actually took him last night. I can't remember. We took Trevor Lawrence, Cousins, and whoever. But anyways, like to me, it's more of a concern if you're reaching for a quarterback to complete a stack and you don't even know if the stack is going to be there. Whereas I think when you factor in the costs like Ridley, it's still a fine risk, even if you don't get Matt Ryan.
I guess the question I would have for you is like, are you more intrigued by these young QB stacks where you kind of know what's going to be there? Like I saw somebody of note was touting Laquan Treadwell this week and like going like, yeah, he's going to be the guy that probably rises. DJ Chark's a free agent, all of that. And I feel like a Jaguars backdoor stack could be interesting. If and I'm not trying to get to a Visca joke, I swear, but I like, are you willing to tether yourself to some of these younger teams? Because I think the Niners are the one that really come to mind most easily.
Sorry, say that again.
Just like younger QB stacks, like, the Burrow stack, obviously this year would have been the one to reference, but like the stack where the QB's young, he's going to be there. There isn't a chance of him not being there barring injury. Like, are you willing to go more in on those stacks, or are you just, I guess, not even interested in those stacking options?
Yeah, I guess I would say I'm just not as worried about going out of my way for stacks right now. Like, I mean, on the other hand, the quarterbacks are flying off the shelves a little quicker than usual. We see Willis stacked up. He got the Tyreek Hill. Kelsey didn't mess around and locked up Mahomes. But yeah, I guess with this team, I do think we should, prioritize Trey Lance. That makes a ton of sense because we've made such a big bet on the Niners. But, with all these picks, I mean, it's kind of how the drafts were going in Best Ball Mania too, where it's like, you could not have a stack set up till like the 9th or 10th round and still backdoor a reasonable stack. So I just don't think we necessarily have to go out of our way early on to set that stuff up.
Sean G actually raising an interesting stack. Zach Wilson stack with Elijah Moore could actually be kind of appealing. Taking the jump here, a year playing together, both guys getting healthy too.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't mind that at all. Yeah, there's a lot of those rookie wide receivers that are going to be second year wide receivers that kind of flashed. And, that's historically been a very good profile to bet on here. I definitely would not be opposed to basically like any of these guys here. The rookies, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like all of them look pretty solid to me here.
The sophomores, I believe you mean now that we actually have real rookies.
That's true.
Also, Corbin in the chat saying, so you're comfortable with McLaurin's QB? I think I'm just comfortable with the concept of McLaurin. So different angles here, but I'm comfortable with the concept of McLaurin, and then Ron Rivera getting somebody in tow who's going to be useful. And I mean, for whatever it was worth, like Taylor Heineke wasn't bad this year. Fitzpatrick was a guy I was buying in on probably too much, given I guess he's just going to be retired now. But I think they get somebody in there. Like they still have the weapons to bounce back after everybody was like 2 on them this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Lunchbowl asking about Lamar. He went 5-2 here. The Mark Andrews owner stacking him up. Interesting to look at this quarterback strategies here. You do get some unstacked plays. Kyler, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase stack obviously makes sense.
The naked QB who can kind of stand on his own. I mean, I think that's always going to be an okay move.
For sure. Fully Loaded has been hammering running backs. Is he going to allow... Ooh, I'm pretty stoked that he let Elijah Moore fall to us. I definitely like to add Elijah Moore to this team.
Okay, I'm up for it.
What else looks interesting to you here?
I mean, I don't think I would not take Treylon Burks when you could take some of these other guys here. Like Marquise Brown, we know the upside. I do find Hunter Renfrow intriguing. I think he proved this year that he can do something. And Michael Thomas, if we're not going to stack up Michael Thomas, like I think not a bad receiver to target at this point, ADP wise.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The Treylon Burks stuff is it's getting too frothy already. I think my choice would be Marquise Brown. I'm also open to Renfrow.
I would go. I mean, I'd go Renfrow. I think.
All right, we can do Renfrow.
I just feel like he's going to be, I mean, if we want to talk about archetypes, he is a Josh McDaniels receiver if you've ever seen one.
He is. He definitely is. I mean, it's like we have to destigmatize Hunter Renfrow. He's actually just good. Like he is a good player.
I touted him a lot this year, especially when Waller was out. Like I think he's good, and I think being in a more competent offense that doesn't have some of the issues that we know the Raiders had this year. I think they're going to get the most of him. So I'm very much a fan. And again, another youngish player who going into year 3 could even take one more level up, one more jump.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Renfro's McDaniels Edelman. I'll take that comp there.
Yeah,
I will take that.
that's my thesis. Yeah.
Let's see what else is shaking out here. Any other ADPs kind of sticking out to you? We do see some of our rookies coming off the board. It looks like Breece Hall was our first rookie, and I think RotoViz did have him as their number one running back in their initial draft guide. So I think last year, we had ETN and Javonte Williams were both going around the 5th, 6th round throughout the offseason for being the top rookies drafted.
I just think any rookie is going to be minus EV if they're this high up right now, just because you don't know where they're going to land. Like, what if they land behind somebody who's pretty well solidified? What if they go to somewhere with just a bad QB situation? And I know this is the point of the big board and also the point of what we're doing at Football Outsiders, getting these guys scouted early. But I feel like the value in taking rookies is going to be taking guys who could pop up like late in the draft, and then you hope they land in the right situation. Whereas if you get a guy now in the 5th round or the 4th round and he bombs out completely, like, that's just a tough draft spot to lose out on.
Yeah. But on the other hand, we've seen, the league winners come from that crop of rookies. Daniel mentions Najee. Yeah. Najee was going, so much higher last year. I don't think we're going to have a back that, gets drafted quite like Najee this year, just from what I'm seeing. But if Breece Hall is, going in the top 25 picks or whatever, I mean, the 5th round is going to be ultimately end up being cheap for him. So one of the things I was thinking about last night and with all these early drafts is like, you're really just trying to draft guys you think can jump a couple of rounds in value over the next few months before, the season starts. So a guy like Breece Hall, if he lands in the nut spot and he's drafted in the 1st round, like, he's going to be a late 2nd pick at worst, basically. So I don't mind in these kind of early drafts. Like, we will basically only have a short amount of time where there's extreme values on these guys before we know more. So I do think they're good risk reward propositions.
Is there anybody, I know you mentioned RotoViz, of course, giving them the plugs and making sure that, they're another site doing the early draft analysis out there for people that do want to get into best ball and have a read on the rookie class. Was there anybody that really stood out to you when you were going through their article? And again, giving them full attribution. We're not trying to steal their info and put it on here, because that's legitimately a thing you should be paying for RotoViz for.
Yeah, no, sorry, what were you saying? You're asking about
the rookie report card. Anybody coming in, I guess, that you're thinking that RotoViz bubbled up for you that you're, I guess, a little more tuned in on than you would have been otherwise?
Yeah, I'm still very, very green with this rookie class. I believe Drake London looks like the next wide receiver. He's the big guy from your alma mater. That looked pretty interesting. We were watching some of his tape last night, so he would probably be the next guy on the radar.
You grinded some tape, huh?
We were watching. We demonetized the video last night to watch highlight tapes. I fell in love with a guy named Sky Moore, spelled Skyy, and then watched very underwhelming highlights.
Sky Moore sounds also like a great WNBA player.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just an incredible name. I really want Sky Moore to live up to that name.
He had to be named after the vodka, right? You'd think.
I do not know. I'm sure we will ask his parents and get to the bottom of this.
Honestly, we are going to have people from Football Outsiders at the NFL Combine. I will actually say, can we ask him if he's named after the vodka? And we'll see. Maybe that could be the thing that gets us to go viral. You never know.
It could be. Wait a second. Did someone already fucking draft Trey Lance? You guys are sick. Oh, you are absolutely sick. Brickers. What the fuck? I mean, honestly, whatever. We're going to go look at his team and lay into him here. What else are you seeing here? I'm fine buying the dip on Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I could live with that. I think too, another coaching move, one that could benefit him.
I mean, as far as he's running back, I don't really want to touch the rookie Patterson or Connor. I mean, I would be fine with Sanders or Pollard. We also could start thinking about quarterback stuff as these guys are just flying off the shelves.
I don't mind a naked Jalen Hurts.
Me too.
Coming off the surgery.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Because now that our stack got blown up, at least we can maybe get similar production from a guy that the offense is built around. And I don't think that offense is going to get less built around Jalen Hurts. If anything, I think they add more passing game wrinkles for him.
What is Brickers doing here?
Being a dick is all. It's like, we didn't get Trey Lance.
Raw dogging Trey Lance in the 7th, because I was gonna say, I was like, we should probably take Lance at this 7-8 turn, because him coming all the way back to the 9th, I thought was gonna be dicey. But I thought we were a lock to get him at 7-8.
Bricker.
God,
Bricker is now our arch nemesis of the 2022 best ball draft season.
jeez. It just like I thought we were really comfy for the Trey Lance stack there. And this goes back to what I was saying before. Like, I'm excited about Trey Lance, but I mean, I'm not gonna be drafting him in the 7th. I mean, that's crazy.
So you know who the buzz on from our guys, and I don't mean to keep plugging FO, but I really do. Like I heard some
They're our sponsor. You're well within your rights
Okay,
to
I know,
to plug them.
but it's like it is editorial, and I feel like sometimes you got to try to make those points. Our guy Mike Tanier loved Malik Willis. Said his arm looked more live than Kenny Pickett's by a pretty wide margin. I think if you're going to take a naked rookie QB and hope that they kind of bubble up, like Malik Willis, I was trying to find some prop lines out there. I think he ends up a top 10 QB pick. I think he's this year's Trey Lance.
All right, I like the call.
Yeah, he also ran for like 700 yards last year. So you talk about a live arm, a guy who actually showed some mobility. Granted, at a not the highest level college, but I'm willing to take that flyer at some point because I'm honestly just really sad about that we didn't get Trey Lance. I think honestly part of it too might be we were building like too clean of a team, and I feel like sometimes people just muck it up for you because they could sense that coming.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Brickers has the grinders experience badge here, so I don't know. Brickers, are you watching? Reveal yourself. Last night, the guy who snaked us on Trey Lance sent a video this morning with hashtagging raw dogging Trey Lance, and he sent in a video that was tilted sideways. So these guys raw dogging Trey Lance, they're crazy motherfuckers, Spags.
Maybe this is just going to be a bit that people do to you and you're not even aware.
I mean, God.
Given how early the tournaments are this year, this could literally be your next 6 months of your life.
I know. It is like every year we're drafting earlier and earlier. I swear to God, it's going to be like week 17 next year. I'm going to be drafting 2023 best ball teams. Like,
I love it though. Like, I mean, especially for us, obviously for you doing the channel, for us as a show, like the fact that we get to do this now every week, like we're going to be really well versed by summertime and just how people are looking, but also like it helps fill the content hours. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. There was a guy in the ship chasing chat last night who at the end, he's like, what's the optimal strategy for how many quarterbacks to take? I need to see a video on 2 QBs versus 3 QBs. I was like, man, it's February 3rd. Can we just ease into this? I promise we're going to be talking all summer about optimal draft construction.
I mean, this has been though, like our thesis though, Pete, for us as a show is that people just want to keep doing football, want to keep doing fantasy, want to keep betting, want to do whatever football league's available. So I think, you just got to see dollar signs in your eye like a cartoon character at this point.
That's right. That's right. I wonder. I did make a resolution last night when we finished the ship chasing one, is to name every one of my drafts immediately, following the draft. Because last year I think they added that naming function like halfway through draft season, and it was just too much of a chore to go back and name them all. So you gotta hold me to that, Spags. Whenever we finish the draft, I need to go label it splash play, first draft, etc.
Okay, no, I support that because I think this year we're going to do better drafts. And I feel like last year you didn't name as many of our drafts as you did your other show drafts because you knew that they weren't going to be perhaps quite as good as some of the constructions with all your other savant best ball friends.
No, I mean, I wasn't naming any drafts because I got lazy and forgot. But this year I need to be more organized.
And also because you don't respect my prowess as a partner.
Chris, I'm not putting. I mean, if someone wants to be my best ball stable boy and put these in Excel for me, I'm happy to. But I'm not doing that, Chris.
Yeah, where do we go now? Oh, Melvin Gordon's available.
No, I mean, I love Ramondre. Like, I'm willing to on him getting more burn this year.
I like it.
I'm down to bet on Juju. I saw I forget who I saw a tweet talking about, like, I mean, Juju profiles like the Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, kind of the veteran who has already flashed that's now going at an insane discount. To me, he seems pretty interesting.
I mean, given that we just took a running back, I would think that Juju relative to ADP here, unless you want to do the Rondale Moore jump, I think would be the most appealing option.
Yeah, I think I'm Juju over Rondale right now.
Okay, I'm cool with it.
Let's see here.
That's a solid move.
Okay, here now. This is Spags content from Mathology. Spags, did you know that Sky's girlfriend is Jordan Harris? You can find her under Jawden. I assume this is
Jordan?
an Instagram handle that Spags is furiously typing.
I am furiously typing it in. Though honestly, I have to log in Instagram and I forgot my Instagram password, which is a problem to itself. Let's see. Because I got hacked recently and I had to change a bunch of passwords, and I don't. So actually, somebody hacked. I didn't think I mentioned this on the show. Somebody hacked into my FanDuel, and then FanDuel allowed them to take the money out of FanDuel, and then
Wait, you got legit hacked?
yeah, I guess I was in a don't look at my passwords, guys, but I was in some sort of data exposure for whatever, and then my shitty password got like exposed, and then yeah, like FanDuel's like, oh cool, oh this guy's bank account, like he changed the email, like put a bank account that wasn't my name, and they had no issue with that. So if you're gonna rob any sportsbook out there, rob FanDuel.
Wow.
It's really
That is that is not good. I mean, Spags, considering I did have you send me the Splash Play password the other day, and I was very underwhelmed by your security measures. Can't say I'm surprised that someone got into your FanDuel account.
Look, I get it. Oh, here we go. Wait, I'm in. I'm in. Okay, cool. Saving my info. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this Jordan real fast.
Look at this. I'm gonna enjoy comments like this while we get it. This team is rock solid. I'm looking forward to a summer of people hating my draft. So let's just savor this while we have it.
So this can't be the same. I guess cheerleader at the University of Pittsburgh is this Jordan Harris, but her account is private and there are no posts. So did she know we were coming? Did she, is that
I don't know. I mean, Jaw.
maybe has she been building some heat in certain like in the gossip, like because there's a lot of like really aggressive like black celebrity gossip sites out there. So maybe picking up a little heat. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Mathology, maybe. I think. Yeah, I can't tell. Who knows?
Oh,
You,
Willis was hoping for Hurts for the double stack. Sorry, Willis. Oh no, did you get snaked?
wow, really going after our accountant there. Or you can't be happy with your one premium double stack. You had to have another.
Like a greedy boy, Willis just scarfing up stacks left and right. Sorry, Willis. Jeez.
Leave some stacks for the rest of us.
I would be less bitter if we got Trey Lance. I was feeling so good about the Niners stack with the fact that we got Kittle like later than we should, and you were like, we're not going to get Kittle. But now here we are. Just getting.
Look at this full YOLO draft from Fully Loaded. Rookie in the 6th, rookie in the 7th, rookie in the 8th, Deshaun Watson in the 10th. I mean, this is just a full send it DGAF draft.
That is, yeah, probably not the best strategy would be my thought.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, God, wide receivers are getting so gross down here. I probably am going to make a pitch for one Mr. William Fuller.
I was going to say, did he go through a rebrand? He's not Will Fuller the fourth now. He's William Fuller.
We had this realization last night. I mean, because he was definitely listed as Will Fuller on the platform last year. So I don't know where this William Fuller came from.
And he's William Fuller the fourth. I know on DraftKings from doing those naming conventions as well. So I don't know if William Fuller makes him better or worse. Wait, are we done drafting?
No, I was just going to give you a sell.
Oh.
Justin Herzig just posted like 30 minutes ago his top values right now. His number one. I'm actually going to reply. William.
Apparently, Willis already took William Fuller.
What? Willis? You rugged us. We are on the screen.
Oh, I can't say.
Shit. We got 8 seconds.
Yeah, make your choice.
Shit. I'm gonna put fucking Marvin Jones. No, Jarvis Landry. Fuck. We're back, baby. We're back. Me firing off tweets instead of lining up our queue. Who do we? Just Marvin Jones. What an awful pick. I hate it. Who do we want here?
Trevor Lawrence now, I guess.
We could set up our Derek Carr to
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Oh, is he gonna get traded? I hope he can't get traded because of the McDaniels hire. I feel like that wouldn't be the move.
Cutting it real close, Spags.
I do think though, like I said it early on, Trevor Lawrence, I would not mind here. I think him taking the leap with somebody who they're going to bring in to make sure he's not a bust, I think is a decent bet to make.
Yeah, when history looks back on this draft, the great thing about where our personal brands are at is even though in actuality I made that pick, people will remember it as like, oh, Spags probably made Pete draft Marvin Jones there. So I'm basically absolved, is what I'm saying.
That's good. Look, it's a team effort here. I'm willing to share the credit and share the blame. All right, where are we going here?
I guess, yeah, I'm very mad. I thought William Fuller was ours, and then Willis just had to come over the top.
And then he took Visca too, just to be hurtful to you.
Everything. It's not, people don't even care about winning. They just care about sticking in the knife and twisting it.
It's funny. I guess Willis really took it personally that I went in so deep on him and his double stacking cleanly. And yeah, he took it out on you, and that's unfair.
Oh my God. I will say, like, I think just because the combination of it being, everyone, I assume, first few drafts, and the fact that it's 20 rounds, like these do definitely feel like longer drafts than those summer BBM drafts. I mean, by the time late August rolls around and everyone knows the ADPs inside and out, like those drafts just absolutely rip. Like you were finishing those like sometimes sub 40 minutes when everyone is on top of it. And right now we're all, letting the clock run down and auto drafting Marvin Jones.
GA007 in the chat saying, name this entry SP Pete drafted M Jones.
No,
I agree. That has to be the name now.
That's the thing, GA. It's going to be SP Spags wanted and old. I will do some very, specific revisionist history on this draft.
I want to see clickbaited headlines on every single draft team that you make. And I think that's the clickbait headline.
That's right. God.
Yeah, hopefully people, we got to, Pete, also something we need to think about. Pete and I have talked about this a little bit off the air, but we have some time between picks. So I'll throw it out on the show. Pete and I are going to start syndicating content to different players. So we need to really start thinking about our 90-second sound bites that we can get to that make a point that somebody might click on various websites out there.
Interesting, Spags. Sounds like a good plan for us.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be great when people go to credible websites and see our dumb faces drafting Marvin Jones.
That's never getting clipped.
It's not up to you, Pete. It's up to the mechanisms and the syndicators and what they want. They're dying for Marvin Jones content.
Oh God, I could see the clickbait headline now. This man went against all conventional wisdom and drafted Marvin Jones. See what happens next.
It is funny though, like drafting an old receiver who we don't like. He might not even be on the Jags next year. Like nothing would surprise. He might retire. Like
I mean, he's basically in the same vein as Deebo Samuel. This veteran who's going to take a massive leap. I mean, I can see it right now.
How old do you think Marvin Jones is?
I'm going to guess Marvin Jones is 29 years old.
Oh no, I thought you were going to go older. He's 31. So you hate that even more now, I presume.
He plays like he's 29 though, is kind of what I've always said. He plays 2 years younger. He plays bigger for his size and younger for his age.
Also, if you're watching on Pete's channel or the Splash Play channel, please make sure to hit that like button. And also, if you can, go to Apple Podcasts, throw us 5 stars and a review because that does help us out a bunch. And again, we're going to be doing these all year long. So strap in, come hang out with us. These shows will be here for you on podcast form and video form. And Eric Lindbergh in the YouTube chat is putting question marks. I don't know what we did to deserve that.
I was off by 2 years. Like how that's not 4 question mark egregious. I'm sorry. That's 1 question mark egregious.
I agree. Honestly, you're right. If you're within a 2-year range of a guy, like he's drafted in 2019.
33, Willis, you fucking idiot.
question mark. Oh man. This is fun though. It's nice to just be doing this. Like this is like a leisure. This is like a chill. Like you get yourself like a nice gin and tonic. You sit back and you just do some best ball drafts.
This is like when I was doing my chess streams, and it's just like you're flying completely blind, just willing to make egregious mistakes in front of the world, in front of the people syndicating these clips.
Yeah. In front of some of America, some could say. That's what we're doing.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. We should probably start drafting some running backs, and this actually looks like a pretty sweet spot for them.
Ooh, the Gus Edwards return.
I like the Gus Edwards return. I think I'm fine buying the dip on Mostert too. We've made a big bet on the 49ers offense, like at this price.
That was
Let's
a
see.
strategy I didn't do. Yeah, I'm in for Mostert. I mean, it does. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter where we take him now. But the number 2 running back who all it takes is one thing to go like wrong or for another guy, and then they get there. Like I feel like that was a best ball thesis that I saw success with, and from other people, and I guess my 1 or 2 lineups that bubbled up. So Mostert, I'm in on.
Yeah, I really like Gus Edwards too
I
at
agree.
this price point.
I mean, yeah, people are buying real high on J.K. Like Dobbins went like rounds ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Dobbins. Let's see where Dobbins went. He got drafted by Fully Loaded. No, he's not our. He
No,
was the guy
Bricker.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fully Loaded was the one doing all the rookies. He took Dobbins in the late third.
that. I mean, I think we got tremendous value on Gus then.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. There shouldn't be that big of a gap between those two.
Yeah, Chris G saying in the chat too, the disparity in value between Mostert and Elijah is insane. I would agree with that. We've seen that they want to go to Mostert. I don't think he can be a 20 touch guy at this point in his career, but like a 15 touch guy with that explosive upside, that's very plausible.
This is a very high T draft for us. Lot of running backs that don't catch a ton of passes. Although waiting where we did to draft these 3 running backs is more low T. So I think it balances out. I mean, structurally, we're in a pretty good spot right now. I do think we need to get outside of our comfort zone here, though, and start taking some flyers on some rookies.
Tom, I mean, well, rookies, but we're kind of done at QB, right? So we can't take some of those guys.
I still think with the 20 round drafts and the fact that we didn't use, top 7, top 8 round capital on a QB. Where did we take Jalen Hurts 8th? I think we could justify a 3 QB build if we wanted.
I think Zach Wilson's that guy if he makes it to us.
Yeah.
I know it's not a rookie. Like Malik Willis, I will defend to the death. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be. He's actually one of the QBs that actually has number 1 overall pick odds, presumably if the Jags trade it. But Malik Willis, everything I'm hearing about him, I'm jazzed, and I feel like he's just that guy that is going to get steamed up a lot over the next month.
He's a quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. Is he not even
Malik Willis?
Willis. Okay. I mean, I do think Zach Wilson makes a ton of sense to get our stack.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's Zach Wilson, given that we got Elijah.
Is there any Eagles that we could stack with Hurts?
Quez?
Rager and Quez?
Yeah, I mean, and Rager, I feel like Rager's trending the wrong way. Quez is trending the right way. I'd probably be more inclined to go Quez than Rager.
Yeah, I don't mind that thought either. I mean, I don't really see much of a difference between a lot, like in this tier of wide receivers here. It seems pretty flyery.
Yeah, because like Goddard, I think would be the ideal if you're not getting Devonta, but that wasn't feasible given our build.
So we got, as far as potential rookies, George Pickens and Dotson here. I mean, both of these guys look like Dotson was going like 8th overall in the RotoViz rookie mock draft. I guess that could be kind of interesting. I do think we should just start taking some flyers on some of these guys.
Well, I think Zach Wilson hasn't gone yet, right?
Right.
Oh, no,
yeah.
he just went. Damn it. Yeah, I missed that. Okay. Yeah, that
Oh,
ruins that.
Bull and Tua went. Geez.
I mean, Kenny Pickett, based on draft capital's probably got the highest chance to start as a rookie, I would think. And Lundar's pointed that out too, that Malik Willis might get steamed up to get as many snaps as Trey. There's a lot of Trey Lance, Malik Willis parallels, so I'm not going to argue against it.
Yeah, I would say because we have the 2 QBs in that mid range that we could probably wait on our third, and or we can just pull the trigger here at the 15-16 turn.
I think I'm okay taking a couple of receivers at this point, honestly.
Yeah, let's just check out if there's anything else here at running back. Seeing some of these rookies: Zamir White, Brian Robinson Jr.
Can Jerick McKinnon establish himself as a number 1 guy? Trey Sermon too, if we want to really corner the market on the backup.
I mean, McKinnon's kind of interesting, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, minus the Chiefs not making the Super Bowl, McKinnon was kind of like this year's Leonard Fournette. People continued to head into this season kind of distrusting his role. And then he smashed again. Like I think McKinnon's a pretty good inertia bet where people just kind of don't want to buy it. And he might just be their lead back next year. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by McKinnon here, and I think, AJ Green, AJ Green
God.
still hanging out.
Yeah, I'm basically the three things I would be looking at for here are stacks and I guess two things. And then rookies or, sophomore players that showed a little bit. So like I'd even be willing to kick the tires on a guy like Terrace
Terrace Marshall. Yeah.
Marshall. But it's pretty gross down here. Did Quez already go? No, he's still there.
Hmm. I mean, honestly, though, like Quez is the kind of guy where if they do draft a receiver high again, I don't know why they would after taking Devonta, but if they draft a receiver, let's say second round or third round, like you probably bump Quez down then, which I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to take Tom Brady ceremony?
No, I refuse. Who are we gonna take? We were talking ourselves.
I think
Yeah, we're
McKinnon.
talking ourselves into McKinnon, and then shit. We also are gonna need a second tight end at some point.
I think that's where we could maybe take a rookie too. Like who's the I don't know
who
was there a Rotoviz rookie that bubbled up? I know there were a couple. I think Trey McDaniels is the one that we were talking about at Football Outsiders.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if any of them are even close on the pedigree to really be an impact guy. I mean, I would rather take a guy like Gerald Everett, who I thought flashed at times this year.
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody Senior Bowl wise that's expected to be like a top 10 tight end. Like there's no Kyle Pitts this year to be.
Yeah, so it's just like it's so thin for. I mean, it was hard enough for Kyle Pitts to perform this year, much less.
Yeah, Mike Tanier at the Senior Bowl, Trey McBride and Jake Ferguson both caught his eye at tight end. But yeah, I agree. Like I don't think they're high enough level prospects. They're just like catching somebody's eye at the Senior Bowl, basically.
Yeah. So we have 4 more picks. Just looking at our construction, we're at 2, 5, 7, 2. So we're definitely pretty balanced in that regard. I think we could definitely add a third QB. I think we could definitely add a third tight end, even having Kittle. And then I think we could probably be good at running back. I feel like this is unless we want to take a flyer on like a random rookie running back. But we're in good shape structurally.
Yeah, I think people pushing Sky Moore on you again. I feel like is Sky Moore your brand now? Is it already your brand?
You got to see the clip from last night. I fell in love with Sky Moore, and then we watched the highlight clip, and we got rugged basically. No, I mean Sky Moore is
hopefully.
What did you say?
Not rugs, hopefully.
Jesus, Spags. I was hoping it was a rug and tug joke, and it was even worse than I could have ever imagined.
Nope, went right for the vehicular manslaughter. As I always do. Jarrett Patterson available. I don't know if I'm buying in on Jarrett Patterson. He's young though. Jarrett Patterson might not be a bad pick now. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I thought Patterson looked decent when he was filling in.
We definitely went older at running back, which
we are
been my influence.
We went, yeah, no, but I mean, I think Ramondre and Gus. Ramondre is really kind of the guy that you're really hoping breaks out where we took him.
We went pretty young at receiver too, like not including actual rookies, but like these are all guys on the cusp of making elite potentially.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, I found out that I fell in love with a slot receiver.
So Sky Moore, a small-bodied receiver guy, like a slot guy. Okay,
it was basically it's the closest I will ever get to doing like the online dating Tinder thing, where I fell in love with a name. And then I showed up at the coffee place, and then I immediately regretted my decision.
Yeah, if Sky Moore isn't 6'5", I don't know that I want to be there. Sky Moore already sounding, based solely off your description, sounds a lot like the Tavon Austin type, a little bit more so.
The best part about how this Sky Moore thing is going to go is I fell in love, and then I'm probably just going to FUD Sky Moore all draft season. And then Sky Moore is going to be like this year's Amon-Ra St. Brown, who just like absolutely destroys. That's just how this stuff goes.
Another proud USC alum. Also, Paul saying, wait, I know you just posted this. Wait until Spags sees where Mike Davis is going. Hopefully not going at all would be my thought.
Seriously.
I think it's enough. Actually, yeah, GA raising a point that we talked about earlier in this week. Brian Dable in New York, no love for Daniel Jones. I agree. Can we backdoor a Giant? We already have 2 QBs. But can we backdoor a Giant stack though?
Sure.
Because like Galladay, Tony, has Kadarius Toney gone?
That's actually he has to have gone. Yeah.
Okay.
The Moose was on the loose. Let's see what other Giants are still available. Even Ingram was saying, I mean, my guy, my initial splash play flame, Darius Slayton.
He's still there. Maybe this is the year. He's still young enough too. Like I think it's a Slayton's year 3 or year 4.
Yeah. Year 4, I would say. But don't come to me trying to guess people's ages. I might be off by 2 years.
Drafted 2019. 25
there
years
you go.
old.
I mean, I'm ready to just click some of these rookie buttons. Let's say, like, what's the deal with Zamir White?
I mean, Zamir, he's got a Z. It's about we're going to get better data in for some of the rookies too. So obviously, you know, the faults of the Rotoviz, check out Mike 10 years Football Outsider stuff, but I'm okay taking Zamir if he's on the board. Why not?
Let's get Daniel Jones. Also, you mentioned the guy that was getting a ton of Senior Bowl hype, that maybe that's our kind of sleeper.
Oh, Tyler Beatty.
Don't say it now, Spags.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
I didn't know you were keeping it ambiguous.
So let's see here. I think 18-19 we go wide receiver, tight end, and then we could grab a flyer running back. Anyone stand out here? I mean, Brian Edwards, younger guy that would had his moments this year. Yeah. And we get the stack.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Get our Raiders double stack here.
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon went rounds and rounds.
I think that guy must have seen AJ Green and thought AJ Dillon.
I wish.
Russia.
Yeah, AJ Dillon's he's going pretty high up, if I recall.
Yeah, if you were available now, that'd be a fantastic pick.
Oh yeah, AJ Dillon there in the 6th round to Willis.
I guess that feels about fucking Willis, man. Well, if there's a good player that we want to talk about, Willis got him.
Willis has been grinding these drafts. Willis, how many of these have you done? You have to be up to like 5 or 6 of these big board drafts already.
Is it a 150 max?
That's actually a good question. Yeah, 150 max. I will not be maxing this. I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting obsessed with these drafts to where I'm doing them with every second of my free time.
Sorry, Pete. I guess after the Super Bowl, doing 3 of these a week.
I will do them on stream until the cows come home. But I'm talking about like what happened to me with the puppies in Basketball Mania, where like any waking moment I was firing into these.
I'm honestly, I'm going to invest a little bit more, which honestly it will be more plus EV for me than what I did yesterday. I bet $500 on Stony Brook's first half line, because like Fox has been limiting me on my prop bets because I'm doing well enough on there. So I just hit the max on those and accidentally hit the max on that bet. And they got fucking smoked by this guy, like this floppy haired guy named Falco. On Binghamton, and it was tilting over an ESPN3 game between Binghamton and Stony Brook. Really felt like a low point.
Goodness. It does sound like a low point.
Like while also like building the NBA lineups and rebuilding them 7 times after Isaiah Jackson hurt his ankle 20 seconds into the game. Hopefully there's somebody out there who relates to all these concepts going on at once. But boy, it was a stressful Wednesday for your old pal Spags.
I bet.
It wasn't the fave. All right, so we got 2 more picks.
2 more picks, and then we are done. I mean, the big question, I do think we should take a flyer running back, and then I think it's, do we want to go another wide receiver, or do we want to add a 3rd tight end?
Okay. I mean, look, I think we should plant the flag for Football Outsiders draft content and take our one mystery back.
I like that.
Who's not going to get drafted. And then that means you wanted to take one more tight end then?
No, I'm saying we could either do one more wide receiver or one more tight end.
Okay. Can you pull up wide receiver and tight end then?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I like the name. Oh, Jamal Agnew's available.
I don't mind Diami Brown.
Oh yeah, with the foreign.
Tolbert is also an interesting name that I've heard mentioned a little bit as well. As far as a rookie wide receiver, I would definitely prefer to skew young. We could double stack, we never did get the Eagle stack. Why don't we toss Rager in and just see if there's any third year legs for Rager?
Okay, I can live with that.
Because we didn't, or did Quez go? Yeah, Quez went, and then we. I mean, it's not bad that we have an unstacked Hurts, but I wouldn't mind if we're gonna just throw a dart. Might as well throw it at his way.
Okay, so Rager and then mystery running back, and we're done.
That's right. This, I was saying that these drafts have been going a little slow. This one, I think this one was on a pretty good clip.
I think they knew I have a meeting at 4. I think it's that's what they knew. They knew I had to go put on a Henley to get myself pretty to do cheddar bets today.
There you go. Wait, is that a live show?
Yeah, it is a live show. So if you want to check out, I'm sure I'll retweet the link when I get tagged in it. So follow me at Chris Spags. You can see me doing real TV, building my reel, Pete.
Okay, I'll come and troll you.
Oh no. I'm giving good advice today. I had to give them like my answers in advance, so I gotta like just keep it in line. Can't riff too much like we do on this show.
Wow, answers in advance?
It's a real show. Like they're like a pretty big. They were like the aspiring CNBC, but for online media, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of great minds. A lot of great minds on Cheddar.
What a glow up. A glow up for Spags. Becoming a father. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, my head's looking like a real ball shape right now. I don't love this first few days of a fresh shearing.
I know. I'm getting a haircut right before I go to the Super Bowl, and it's always like, you want about a week, after that fresh cut before you want to be seen. All right, Rager, and what's his name?
And then Tyler Beatty, Badie. There you go.
Are we the Beatties, the baddies?
Oh, we are. We're the Beatty baddies. But yeah, the reason we're taking Tyler Beatty here, our guy Mike Tanier over at Football Outsiders, boots on the ground at the Senior Bowl, said he's like the guy that popped the most at skill positions. A little bit smaller guy, projects as a 3-down back. So I'm going to take the stab here, Missouri running back. So if you're a Missouri fan, then
there you go.
John Warner saying, did he say Super Bowl? I guess people don't know that you're going to the Super Bowl. You've talked about it a few times on here, but yeah, Pete, are you doing a handle change for yourself? Are you going to be big Super Bowl Pete, West Coast Pete, LA Pete?
I might be, maybe I'll be TikTok influencer. I mean, it is kind of a hype house model. So maybe I'll just be grinding the TikTok game while I'm there.
Who else is going to be there? Do you know, or can you say who else that you know is going to be there?
Jack's going to be there. Settlement, Nick Ercolano and Animal from Nick BDGE's channel are going to be there. Hayden and Josh, of course, from Underdog are going to be there. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Okay, so I guess all people we know. I guess I don't know Animal. I know him through Nick's channel, but
yeah, Animal's he's a wild man. He's a madman.
Would you say he's an animal of some sort?
He is not of human variety. It's hard to know which animal he is, but he is an animal.
My goal, Pete, is for next year to get on this Underdog VIP list of all the guys who are just getting pumped up there with all of our great content around Underdog drafts. Hopefully some of the people there take notice would be my thought.
That you understand what happened, right? Like I waited and waited to go to LA until you were out of there.
Right.
And now that you're on the East Coast, I'm fleeing to get away from you. It all worked out perfectly.
That checks out. Oh, Rushia saying that you could be Petey Overs, who I think Pete, baby, bring on your Italian hat and go do some character work.
Petey Overs yeah. Overs
no,
only.
Petey Overs, yeah. That's just your gambling name because you love overs.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. That's all I bet are overs.
I actually do like overs. That's a unique thing about you. That's the unique personality trait. Love overs.
If only the Niners and Jimmy G made it to the Super Bowl, and then I could have been PD unders at.
That would have been a good bit. Also, did you enjoy seeing our pal Gretch's Wordle optimal strategy talks?
Oh yeah, I haven't replied to that yet. I'm still triggered.
Well, you replied initially. I didn't know that it was it still going.
Oh no, I keep getting tagged in Wordle shit, and I can't reply to all this. Oh, someone tagged me in yours and was like, check out this shit. I mean, what? Like, that's the thing too. Like Spags, do you think that's good content? Like, why are you sharing that?
I just think I like that it looked like a Tetris board, but no, that's why I didn't tag you in it because I'm like, I'm kind of over tagging you on them. But I think people now want me to tag you on them, which, who am I?
That's right. All right, here, splash play.
Pete
Spags
loves Marvin Jones.
Wanted Marv.
Oh, MJ.
We're gonna go SP.
Okay.
There you go. All right, now it's
not want Marv.
No one will ever remember what actually happened. It's not like this will live forever.
Disgraceful. Willis took Antonio Brown. Look, Antonio Brown, good value if you're willing to take an old receiver who's perpetually on the cusp of a mental breakdown, I guess.
I would say he wasn't on the cusp. I think the mental breakdown was had.
We did pass the cusp there. Well, there we go. There's our first 2022 best ball draft. Of course, this show, Ship Chasing Peach channel in general, will be doing a lot of best ball drafts. Make sure you're playing over at Underdog. Use the promo code SPLASH if you want to get a $100 deposit match or up to $100 deposit match over there. So you can play along with us like our guy Willis is over there. Also, make sure you go to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Again, premium content going on. The $1 a week deal for all the data over at Football Outsiders is going away on the 13th. So make sure you get in now. And it sounds like I'm reading this off of ad copy, and I'm just actually saying it off the top of my head. But go to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Check out the NFL draft content as well. Mike Tanier doing a lot of work, a seasoned veteran of this industry, doing a great job bringing some analysis to this that'll hopefully pay some dividends for us as fantasy players. Pete, what's your final salvo here before we call it quits?
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, to dive into Pro Bowl DFS with Cody Main. Looking forward to that. Because I legitimately have to get my shit together because I registered for a bunch of contests.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in tomorrow, learn everything we can about the Pro Bowl. So come hang out 2:30 Eastern here on Peach Channel and the Splash Play channel. Hit the like button before you go. Follow at Peter Overzet. Follow at Chris Spags. Follow at Splash Play Pod, and come hang out on Cheddar Bets in like an hour. I don't know. Enjoy.